Plus, it seems like a waste for Kathy to live in such a big house alone, she continued. Yeah, let's do it. We're moving in this weekend. My parents decided they didn't even acknowledge me, made all the decisions without consulting me. I made it clear that I didn't want to live with them. Hold on. I don't want to live with you guys. What are you talking about? I protested. My father's face turned red with anger, and he shouted, You took control of this house, claiming it from your uncle, trying to make it yours. You hit a new low. Take over. I simply had a conversation with Uncle, and he gave it to me. Don't try to justify yourself. In any case, our old house is crumbling. Your mother and I are moving in here this weekend. In reality, this house was a gift to me from my father's brother, my uncle, who always spoiled me. The ownership is still under my uncle's name, but he gave me permission to use it however I wanted. According to my father, our family home has deteriorated significantly and requires extensive renovations if we want to keep living there. My mother doesn't work, and my father's income isn't very high, so renovating the house isn't feasible for us. That's why they targeted the house I inherited from my uncle. I wasn't happy about it, but my parents had made up their minds to sell their own house and said they had nowhere else to go. I couldn't leave them stranded, so I reluctantly agreed to live with them. As soon as they moved in, my parents started making sarcastic remarks. Hey, Kathy, you're in your 30s already, right? Don't you think about settling down and getting married? I'm content with my job at the moment. If you keep saying things like that, it'll just push any potential suitors away, I replied. Why don't you take a cue from your sister? Well, my sister's marriage isn't exactly perfect, is it? But for now, I'm okay with how things are. At that point, my mother, who had been listening, chimed in. Hey, don't speak ill of your sister like that. Unlike you, she's married and has a job at a company. You know, I may not be married, but I'm doing just fine with my work, too. You're always glued to your computer. Are you earning money through some sketchy methods? My mother asked suspiciously. Sketchy methods? I earn my living through honest work. There's no need to be concerned. How dare you talk back to your mother? You're nothing like your sister. That's how it went. My parents kept comparing me to my sister. Yes, she has a job at a company, but she's only a temporary worker in an office position. I don't mean to belittle temp jobs, but I certainly make more money than she does. I understand that my parents' generation may not fully grasp the idea of working from home, but it was still painful to constantly feel underestimated. Then one day, while I was preparing dinner, the doorbell rang unexpectedly. To my surprise, it was my sister Sandy carrying a lot of luggage. Hi, Sandy. What's happening? I asked, confused. It's been a while, Kathy. This might seem sudden, but I'll be staying in this house from now on. I was taken aback and blurted out, what a big house. If Uncle was giving it to someone, it should have been me. Wait, hold on. You're moving in? Starting today? I had no idea about this. Did Mom and Dad tell you? I got divorced, so I'll be relying on you from now on, Sandy said, ignoring my surprise. She went upstairs and claimed an empty room for herself. Despite my attempts to resist, my parents sided with Sandy, and I felt powerless to stop it. From that point on, my stress only grew. After her divorce, Sandy had quit her job and spent her days gossiping about me with our mother. Hey, Mom, do you think this dress is cute? Oh, absolutely, Sandy. You look so pretty. It suits you perfectly. Do you agree? It's definitely not something Kathy would wear, right? Well, Kathy is more on the simple side. That's probably why she's having trouble finding a job. She just stays home and plays online, Mom said. Mom, you can't just say things like that. Sandy replied. As I was cooking dinner, they purposely made sure I could hear their conversation. I was itching to respond, but I knew that would just play into their hands. So no matter what they said, I kept living without reacting. Now comment update to tag you on part 2.